Hello everyone, welcome to Success Strategies. In this video, I will be teaching on the power of resilience. The word resilience might have been something that is common that we have heard of, but resilience is such a powerful component that we need to have in order for us to achieving success in any field. Don't forget that we've said that success means the ability to achieve a worthwhile goal in a particular field. And achieving success does not only mean accumulating money. No, success may mean having X amount of money in the account. Success may mean having XYZ number of people you have nurtured. Success to somebody like an athlete may mean winning a number of medals. Now, regardless of the field you find yourself, one of the key ingredients to achieving success is resilience. Resilience is key. Resilience is important. See, show me a successful person and I will show you somebody who is resilient. Now, resilience means, bouncing back from failure. See, failure is not entirely bad. Failure is not entirely bad. This great writer Robert Schuller said, failing is an opportunity to start more intelligently. Failing is an opportunity to start more intelligently, which means everyone is bound to fail in one event or the other. So, the fact that you fail in an event does not make you a failure. See, there is a difference between failing as a person and failing as an event. We have all failed in one event or the other. But we need resilience to achieving our goal. We need to bounce back, ability to bounce back after failing, ability to bounce back after falling. It is not enough for you to fall. When you fall and you fail to rise again, and you have accepted that fall, that means you have accepted failure. But when you try one more time, then there is success ahead. So I want to challenge you to try one more time what you have been doing. Resilience also means adapting. To adapt. There is this saying that when there is life, there is hope. Okay? When there is life, if you are not dead yet, and you try one more time, then you have the capacity to achieving the set goal you have for yourself. So you've got to adapt. You've got to take not failing as an option. You've got to say to yourself, I do not have any reason to fail. If you ask so many people why they fail, they will give you loads and loads and loads of reasons why they fail. But you need to tell yourself that you do not have any reason. I do not have any reason to fail. When you cultivate this type of mindset, I want to tell you that you are going to make, you are going to achieve your goal. So you've got to adapt. You've got to develop thick skin. When you fail, you rise up one more time. When you fail, you rise up one more time. Remember, for somebody to break a stone using a hammer, it is not the last, you know, the last hitting of the stone that breaks the stone. Is the accumulation or the culmination of all the hitting you have been the stone breaker has been making right from start. So imagine you need to hit the stone for 1000 times before it breaks, and you start hitting, and on the 500th time you stopped. Okay, you are not going to break that stone. So I want to encourage you to move ahead. I want to encourage you to be resilient. Try one more time again. Resilience also means growing through adversity. Growing through adversity. You see, life is full of up and down. Life is full of up and down. You you cannot want to achieve a goal in this life and tell me you are not going to experience the up and downs of that goal. It could be in business, it could be in um, academics, it could be in sport, it could be in career. There will be up and down. There will be times when challenges will come. But you've got to prepare yourself. You've got to rise up one more time. It is when you fail, it's an opportunity for you to sit down and look at what you can do and move ahead. So, resilience has to do with growing through adversity. So it's very important. Just be prepared that adversity will come, but you've got to overcome that adversity. You've got to overcome the adversity. You see, um, resilience could be innate and it's also learnable. You can learn it. You can learn resilience. It could be innate, something that you are born with, but you can also learn resilience. Telling yourself that I will do it one more time. It is very important. It is very important. You don't want to settle for less. You don't want to settle for failing. You are born to succeed. So, and as a result of that, I want to encourage you to learn resilience. Now, I'm going to give you a case study. There are so many case studies of people who were resilient and eventually they achieved their goal in life. There is one of my favorite author, Dr. Miles Monroe, of blessed memory. Dr. Miles Monroe is now dead. He died 11 years ago. I had one of his podcasts when he said in the podcast that he came from a poor family in the country of Bahamas. He's a black, he's a black person from the Caribbean. Dr. Miles Monroe said they lived in a small island with a parent. The parent had, I think, 11 children. and they lived in a house built with planks. You know, that's to tell you how poor they were. He said he had four sisters and um, four sisters and four brothers. He was in the middle. Then the father and the mother. They were 11, and they lived in just a house with two rooms. He said one of the rooms was for the sisters, the other room was for his dad and mom. The rest of the guys slept in the passage. And at the teenage age, Dr. Miles Morrow questioned, looked at himself and asked, why did God allowed them to live in such situation, to live in such poverty? He said in the house where they lived, you know, rodents were their next neighbors. They were beaten by rodents. They played together with rats. That is to tell you how poor they were. And Dr. Miles Morrow discovered purpose early in life at the teenage age. Dr. Miles Morrow pursued his vision. He became a very successful person, being a pastor and an entrepreneur, as well as a writer. I've read some of his books like Maximizing Your Purpose, which I encourage you to equally look at the net, look at the internet to search for. Very inspiring book, and so many other books he authored. This exemplifies resilience. If Dr. Miles Morrow had accepted fate that, oh, his family cannot go beyond where they were in Bahamas, he would have died a failure. He's now dead, but he died as a successful person, as a successful pastor and entrepreneur. So you can equally reach that level. All you need to do is to develop resilience. There are so many examples of people who were resilient and they are now successful. Another person I want to cite is Dr. Cosmas Maduka. Very inspiring story. Dr. Cosmas Maduka is a Nigerian entrepreneur and a billionaire. I have followed him and read about him. By the way, he's the founder of, or let me say the co-founder of Costaris Motors. Costaris Motors sells exotic brands in Nigeria. You can go online, search for Cosmas Maduka, read about his biography. You will realize that this is somebody who is very resilient. Cosmas Maduka managed to finish elementary school. He did not have a grounded formal education. When he went for this apprenticeship, by the time he finished the apprenticeship, his boss gave him 200 naira. He gave him 200 naira. Then he resolved that with this 200 naira, he's going to turn his life around. No, it wasn't easy to do that. It was resilience was part of what transformed Dr. Cosmas Maduka into a successful person today. You and I can equally do that. So just tell yourself that I do not have any reason to fail. See, I challenge you to be more resilient. I challenge you to try one more time again. Now, what are the strategies that we need to put in place to be resilient? Number one, reframing our negative thoughts is very important. When you need to reframe your negative thought, some people have developed negative, self-depreciating thoughts, self-depreciating ruminations, like, oh, I cannot make it, I cannot achieve this. This achievement is meant for some set of people. You need to reframe that thought to saying that if Dr. Miles Morrow can rise from being poor or from a poor family to a global leader, then I can also achieve that. Can see the difference? That is reframing and replacing your self-depreciating negative rumination with a positive thought. So it's very important. You see, your background is not an excuse for you to fail. Do not allow your background to put your back on the ground. Use your background as a springboard to achieving your set goals in life. So I challenge you to be resilient. I challenge you not to give up. Then another strategy that you need to put in place is to practice gratitude. It's to practice gratitude. When you practice gratitude, you get this motivation that you can still achieve more. There is nobody in this life that has not achieved one thing or the other. So you've got to reflect, you've got to think deeply and be grateful for what you have achieved and be grateful for the level you are. While you are grateful for the level you are, then you begin to think further of the next step. So it is very important, practicing gratitude, being grateful for what you are, for what you have, for where you are. But most times, people want to compare themselves with probably their peers. You could be peers in secondary school, you could be peers in school, but you have different level of grace, and you have different times frame of manifesting success. So you've got to look inward. You've got to be the only person you are competing with. Compete with yourself. Never compete with anybody. Check your milestone against what you have set for yourself, not your milestone against the level of your peer. Very important. So practice gratitude. You see, resilience can come, you can have resilience when you are a student. Read more. Okay? Give it more shots. In career, if you want to achieve certain level of career level, then you've got to put in more effort. You've got to be more resilient. You're not going to die. You've got to put more effort. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep moving. Very important. So I challenge you to be more resilient in the pursuit of your success. Now, you see, have you ever taken time to look at trees? Trees are very resilient. Trees, they are very resilient. You will discover that during heavy wind, you realize that the wind begins to push trees here and there. And what do you see? Most of these most of these trees, you still see them standing. It is even amazing. Trees are living things, unlike humans that can, or unlike animals that can run away from threats or from adversity. Trees cannot run. When there is wind, it will blow and they remain there. When there is fire, fire will burn through them and they will still sometimes keep to themselves. You see some trees growing in the desert where there is limited amount of water. Xerophytic plants, plants with you know plants with minimal amount of intake of water. You still see them developing different feature for them to be able to survive, like thick bags. So you've got to make your skin more thicker. Look at baobab, for example. Baobab is one of the trees, mainly found around the desert area, or uh, a place where there is limited supply of water. Look at baobab. Look at the back, a thick back. That thick back is one of its feature of adaptation. So you've got to develop thick skin as a person too, for you to be able to achieve your set goals, for you to be able to achieve your dreams is very important. So I want to encourage you, I want to challenge you that you should try one more time. I want to challenge you that you should be resilient so that you'll be able to achieve your uh, set goal. Thank you very much for your listening attention. See you in other video.